Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my home, my very messy home. But as you can see behind me, it looks like fall has threw up in here because it is time to start decorating for fall. Now, I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done today because I do have just a little bit of time to work with to make these videos, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done today, but I'm going to try to get done as much as possible. I'm not sure if I'm going to put a tree up this year. I have not decided. I'm still kind of teetering that in my head if I want to do a fall tree or not. I may not do it, and if I do, it might be just a little tabletop. I just want to do things a little bit differently this year. I don't want it to be the same exact thing that you saw last year, so I have been trying my best to come up with some new ideas to do in here so it won't be the same exact video as last year. So I'm going to get started because I have already run out of way too much time today. I've wasted a lot of time because I have taken everything off my dining room. I've taken everything off my hutch. I do still have to clean off my mantle. But before we actually get started decorating, I'm going to kind of show you around the living room and let you see what we're working with. So here's all my decor that we have to work with, and I have separated everything as best as I can. I've got mostly here all of my picks and stems. Now that big pile there, if you'll remember, I got that last year at Hobby Lobby on 90% off. I'm not even sure what's in there. I just kind of bought it and stashed it away for the year, so I need to really look through that and see what I have. These are a few new pieces like that I got from Dollar Tree. I showed you those, and then some of the same pieces that I have had, and I just kind of combine them together. I do tend to pick the same stems over and over because I want everything to be cohesive in the house because the house is so small. There's all the pumpkins I was telling you about. Those are all the same. You can kind of see where everything is put together that is the same and alike. So here's the little coffee table full of pumpkins. And then over here, I've cleaned off the dining room table and I've cleaned off the hutch. I did end up keeping those plates up there last year, so they may stay. Not entirely sure yet. We'll see. We're just going to kind of fly by the seat of our pants. And I want to show you this too before we get started very quickly. I got some more shelves for my craft room, and this is where I'm putting all of my glass that came out of the hutch. So isn't that beautiful? I know the light's coming in, it's kind of hard to see, but isn't that amazing? You really don't realize how many pieces you have to a collection until you put them all together. But I've got those two shelves, and then I've got these two shelves that we're going to use to store stuff, and then I've got these two shelves in my closet that we're going to use to store stuff. And I've got all of my depression glass safely put away. I did not break any, thank the Lord. So it's all put away safely. So let's go in here and let's get started. We're going to start up here on this mantle. We're going to start at my very favorite place in my home, and that's my mantle. I love to decorate this spot up as big and over the top as I possibly can. Last year, this area was really beautiful too. It is different than this year, so if you want to go back and see last year's mantle, be sure to look up that video. Actually, I'll try to put it in the description if I can remember so you can go back and see last year's mantle. But this year is, I think, probably my favorite. I think this is probably my favorite mantle I've ever put together. And I mean, I guess because it is just so over the top. And you'll see me now where I'm moving these bottles and my swan glass vases. This is a new collection that I started this year, and I'm kind of sad to see them come down because I've really enjoyed being able to see them every day. Our couch is right behind this area, so when we watch TV, this is what we see. So I always try to have this area decorated in a way that makes me smile because that's kind of what I have to look at in the afternoons when we get home after work. And then I've got my little room fixed up all ready to store everything. Some of these things are going to stay in here until probably January because as soon as we get done with fall, we're going to start decorating for Halloween. and then we'll start Christmas, and you probably won't see any of this stuff again until January. So I'm trying to make sure that there's a good, safe place for everything to go, where it won't topple over and it'll be in out of the elements. Last year I put my depression glass outside, and then when I brought it in, I think the temperature change was just too much, and I ended up breaking a piece. So I definitely want to try something different this year. This picture it's a painting. It's an original painting, and it's signed. I have had in my bathroom, and I wanted to use it last year, and I didn't think about it until it was too late. So it was absolutely the first thing I wanted to decorate with this year, because it is so beautiful. It is just the perfect fall picture, and I love how it ended up looking up there. You'll see later that I ended up making it a little taller because it was kind of getting hidden with all of the florals that are getting ready to come up. But my only wish with this picture is that it was bigger. I have a really big one in my bedroom that's kind of a fallscape, and I keep it out all year long. My house is really honestly decorated fall-like all year. I love the autumnal colors, and those are the colors that bring me the most happiness. So that's kind of how my house is decorated 365. I could honestly not put anything out and my home would look like it was decorated for fall, but I got to go bigger than that. So we got to get festive around here and add all the pumpkins. So I had two different types of greenery up here. I was trying to take down one, and I ended up tearing everything down here. So I had to put it back up, and that's kind of what I'm struggling with right now. And these are the greenery stems that I got from Dollar Tree this year. I had a vision for my mantle this year. I saw a picture somewhere online, and I cannot find it again to save my life, but the image that I saw was just the whole front of the mantle was just covered in these little stems that kind of droop down, and that's what I wanted to do. So I saw these stems at the Dollar Tree. I figured I could not get a better price than that, so I bought up as many as I could find. I don't remember, I think I had like 2 dozen, but it did the trick. It covered the mantle perfectly, and it gave me the effect that I was hoping for. You'll see that they started to tumble down at this point, so what I had to do is I had to perform some surgery. So I just went and got some thumbtacks and tacked in my base greenery in there. I like to have a base greenery to kind of give my stems something to hold on to. Last year, I don't know if I used that there last year. I know over my China hutch I did, but I used a Christmas garland, and it's the perfect little base for something like this because it holds it, it doesn't fall out, and you won't see it. You can't see it when it's done, so it's the perfect option. But for this time, I didn't have the garland out, so I just kind of used the greenery that I have up there year round. But that's kind of how I kind of weave my stems in so that they'll stay in place. But I needed to tack them down just a little more to give it a little bit more stability. Now we're going to try it again, and we're going to just start tucking them in there, and this time it worked, and they will stay. I know what you're saying because I'm saying the same thing as I'm watching it, but I did fill in that little gap. I don't think I did it on film, but it does get filled in, so don't worry. And this is the aftermath from all those stems from the Dollar Tree. A couple people told me to get some hairspray and spray them down, but I forgot to get the hairspray, so I just took them all outside and shook them off as best I could. It did cut down on a lot of the mess, but I still had to sweep and vacuum and do all the cleaning up afterwards, but it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. My next little stem is going to be these little brown, they kind of look like dead leaves, honestly, but I wanted to go a little more muted this year. I do add color, I promise. It's going to look a little plain and drab in the beginning. You're going to think, this is too dark, there's no color, that is not Becky, but the color comes later, but I did want to tone it down just a little bit. The leaves that I used up there last year were not my favorite. They were too bright, and I just wanted to do something a little different this year. Now, I do like these brown leaves. They do not bend very well, so they kind of lay flat, and that's the only way they lay. So you just have to lay them to where they're going to sit up a little more. You have to use your imagination a little bit with these leaves. Normally I would pick up a leaf that you could bend more easily, that way you can see it, but these do not bend. They just lay there. And then these are the little acorn picks. I did pick up a few more of these this year, so I'm sticking those in there. Those have the pit berries in with them, and the pit berries just kind of make all the difference in the world. I call pit berry picks the magic pick because honestly, you stick it in there and magic just happens to the most plain, boring of displays. And here's a somewhat of a close-up. I was trying to film this with the camera still on the tripod, and it was a little shaky, so I apologize for that. This next little pick was another one that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I pulled them apart as best I could so they kind of sprayed out, and just kind of tucked them in there so they would kind of pop out of the top of the display. So they were perfect. $1.25. I could not have asked for a better pick. So this is about the time where I realized that that picture cannot be seen very well. So I go and get a piece of, actually 2 blocks out of David's woodshed, and I'm going to rise them up a little bit. Now it's going to take me a minute of fumbling around because I'm trying not to destroy everything that I just worked so hard on. But essentially that's what happens when I go to add in something later. But in the end, it looks great. It stands up the perfect height, and you can see the picture better, and all of the stems at the bottom doesn't cover it, or actually doesn't hide it. I'm still fumbling, y'all. I'm sorry. It's going to take me a good minute to get this to get this thing straight. I guess I should have done a little more editing and cut some of this out. Sorry. It's coming together. It's almost done, I promise. And this is it. I got it all put together. I didn't destroy it too bad. I'm just making some final adjustments, and it's all done. Now these little, I think they're called like silver dollar picks. They were like the magic pick in my display. Those came from the Dollar Tree as well. They had them in green, orange, yellow, all different colors. If you missed them, they may be available online, I'm not sure, but they are such a pretty pick. And they would bend in the middle just a little bit, and that way they could kind of sway over the bottom. And I just kind of tucked them right at the bottom of the display, and it was just perfect. They just look so good, I thought. And see how it's bent a little bit, and I just was coming in from the bottom. That was the perfect way to put these in this display. And you're noticing, I know how, I guess, monotone everything is. I promise the color's coming. It will be there shortly. You know I gotta have some color in my life, but I just wanted the majority of this display to be kind of muted. And here comes the color and the pumpkins. We got all the pumpkins, y'all. We're gonna fill this shelf full of pumpkins, and it's gonna look so good. I can't wait for you to see it all put together. I spent an obscene amount of time arranging these pumpkins to be in the perfect spot. I wanted them tipped over just a little bit so you could see the stems. I wanted the perfect color to be seen on the pumpkins that were kind of, you know, one side darker than the other. And I just I spent so much time arranging these pumpkins, but they are so pretty. They look so good. Okay, so what I'm getting ready to point at here is this open space where there's nothing there. I felt like something needed to be there that was tall. So I got that little stool from Hobby Lobby and I set a pumpkin on top of it, thinking that it would give it some height. Well, when it was all put together, I realized that it kind of stood out. It looked weird. So I ended up moving that stool out and taking it completely out and brought the pumpkin lower. So it's essentially, when it's done, it's just the pumpkins are just kind of spread out across, and it looks good. But originally I thought I needed something tall there. Now the last thing I'm going to put on my mantle are these orange leaves. They're very small. There's only the tip of the leaf is all that has, you know, anything on it. So I tucked them in to where they kind of hid inside of the other greenery or foliage, because I didn't want it to stand out a lot, but I really wanted you to be able to see that little bit of color in there. And it does pop out. You can see it, but just enough. It's not overwhelming, but you can just still see the color, and it brought the color from the pumpkins down into the bottom part. So in love with this mantle, y'all. I cannot stop looking at it, honestly. And since I filmed this, I have gone in and added some little twinkle lights, and it just, you know, took it up one more step in my opinion. But I think those little orange leaves were the perfect addition. Not too much, but just a touch. And here is the final look, minus the twinkle lights. And then you can see where I moved the pumpkin down a little lower too. The next clip will have it up again. You'll see it sticking up because I filmed that afterwards. But so now I'm going to clean this dirty, dusty TV. I'm already sneezing here. And then I had to get all of those little beads off the table too that had fallen from the Dollar Tree stems. So we're just cleaning up at this point. I kept some of the cleaning clips in here because some people like clean and decorates. I don't mind the clean and decorates as long as, you know, I'll kind of get wrapped up in them for a minute, and then I'm sitting there like, I am literally watching this girl load her dishwasher. Why am I watching this? But you kind of get wrapped up in it. But I did add a little bit of cleaning in there. Someone else said last week in a comment that they didn't really care for the cleaning. And I'm like, yeah, the cleaning just kind of takes away time that I could be spending decorating, so I don't do a lot of cleaning. But I did keep it in here a little bit just to kind of change it up. This whole format is different for me, where I filmed it without talking and then came in next with the voiceover, so I'm not really sure how well it's going to go over, how you guys like it. It was kind of the option that I had for this year because I wanted to get it all done pretty quickly, and I don't feel comfortable filming and talking in front of the camera when I've got a house full of people. Lily's home, Summer's here, David's here. If I'm gonna get this done this weekend, I'm gonna have to just film it. And the only way I could do that is if I just film it and then do the voiceover later. Like right now I'm sitting in my closet talking to you guys, and that's fine. Let me know what you think. Do you like it like this, or do you like when I actually talk to you in person while I'm filming? So it is time to take my beautiful sunflower Afghan down and replace it with one for fall. And I very carefully take that down because I don't want that wood to pick my blanket in any way. And here's my fall one. It's just as plain and simple as they come, but I just like the simplicity of it. Not everything needs to be crazy and over the top, right? Some things can be simple. And then I'm going to add my little wreath in with my little sign. It's the exact same setup that I had last year. It's just in a different spot. That little mini wreath came from the Hobby Lobby, and the Give Thanks sign came from Dollar General last year. And I think that little sign was like $2 or something. And I just tied a little ribbon around it and made my own little thing there. But I'm pretty proud of myself this year because I changed everything. I was so worried about how I was going to decorate this year and it not be just like last year. I've been thinking about it and contemplating it, and I'm pretty proud of myself that everything is different this year. So do you remember these little flowers that I got from the Dollar Tree? I wanted to use them somewhere, and instead of reinventing the wheel and taking everything out of this little vase, I just kind of stuck them in there with the yellow ones and stuck a couple more these little hops picks just to add a little bit more fall. And that's all I'm going to do to that little area other than stick a pumpkin or I can't remember if it's a pumpkin or a sign I stick here too. Oh, it's the squirrel that I got from the Dollar General. I have a lot of squirrels in my decor this year. You'll see that in the next video when I decorate my hutch. I put all my squirrels out. And he is so cute. And then this is my beautiful little Mercury light pumpkin that I got from Home Goods the other day. I do not have batteries in it at this point, but I have them in there now. And when I put the batteries in there, it lights up even brighter, and it is so cool. You'll see it when we do the final walkthrough of the house, but it is just the prettiest little pumpkin. And then above it, you know, with the twinkle lights in the mantle, it's just a sweet little space in the house. So I'm cleaning off my coffee table. David made this coffee table for me, and I did this last year. I'm doing it just a little different this year. Last year I had an orange runner, and I really love the orange runner, but it's too long for my table. So this is me trying to decide which little doily or whatever I should use here. I ultimately end up using the groovy one. just because it's longer and I just love those colors. But either one would have looked okay. And David made that dough bowl as well. So I'm just going to fill it full of pumpkins and little pigs. Now, I was a little indecisive when decorating this dough bowl. You'll see me take things, add things, take them away, back and forth, because I would try it, not like it, and in the end it looks really cute, but I just had to play around with it for a little bit. It started to get too much and I had to take it away, and I didn't want it to be overwhelming. I really wanted you to still be able to see the bowl, which is to me a piece of art, but at the same time the point of the bowl is to put things in the bowl, but I just didn't want it to be too overwhelming. And there is the final look of my beautiful coffee table. And then next we're going to change out a blanket on the back of my chair. And you'll also see me struggling here with the pillow placement. We talked about the plain, boring pumpkin pillow that I wanted to try to get rid of, but you guys told me that I needed to keep it and just paint it or do something fun with it. I ended up just throwing it on this chair. It was just simple enough, so I'll probably keep the pillow. I like the big pillow in the chair better than the little pillow anyway, and I ended up putting the little pillow somewhere else, but struggled a little bit with where to put it. So now we're just going to switch out the yellow pillows for the orange ones. Kim gave me these pillows last year. They are the perfect color for fall, and they match my dishes in the hutch behind the couch. So I love using these pillows this time of year. It's my favorite. They're my favorite. And we're just going to doll up this little side table a little bit. I'm going to put a little doily down and put our picture back. And I think I'm going to stick a squirrel over here. And we're starting to wind down here. I'm adding my beautiful glass pumpkins to this little section, and this is going to be all for our living room decorate with me. All right, everybody, that is a wrap for my living room fall Decorate With Me 2023. I am thrilled with how it turned out. The only thing different that I'm going to be adding are some twinkle lights up here in the mantle. I do not have any batteries anywhere in this house, so I need to add some in my little pumpkin and in the twinkle lights, and you'll be able to see that when we do the final walkthrough. But I'm proud of myself for stepping out of the box, trying something different. It turned out great. It might be my favorite one I've done ever. So thank you all for spending this time with me. Thank you for taking a minute, or actually maybe an hour. I don't know, at this point this video may be crazy long. Thank you for taking your precious time and spending with me. It means the whole world to me. And until next time, I love you all and I'll see you later. Bye.